Welcome and well met to Words of Azem, the Final Fantasy XIV fan podcast. We are a group of warriors of light from Lamia world on Primal data center hit the Shatty hour away. I'm your Sora Polianis, veteran black mage, and with me I have our ever fierce warrior, Killer Italian.
Hello.
And the High Sword Dragoons, Asaria Limley.
Hello.
And Midori Toka.
Hello.
Hello everyone! First recording of the year, and first recording since we just gave up on the monthly attempts at making this, well, monthly. So, how have your experience been with the game in the past 2 months? Have you done anything fun apart from the stuff we're going to be talking about today?
Mostly just that. Spend a lot of time doing other things, but since the patch dropped, I've been focusing a bit more on the game.
Yeah.
I kind of took last patch off. After we did the variant dungeon together, I just didn't really log in for the most part. Since the new patch, I went and did the Hildebrand quest, and I've been working on the Omicron quest, which I'm enjoying a lot more than the previous one. So.
Yeah, pretty much same here. Like I sort of got the feel for Final Fantasy XIV again when watching the Awesome Games Done quick run of the Palace of the Dead.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So I got back on and did the Hildebrand stuff, did the Omnicron stuff, and started leveling some more jobs that I haven't gotten to 90 yet. But alright, let's move into 6.3 Gods, Rebel Lands Tremble. So, main scenario questline did a lot of interesting things. We got to bring Zero to the twins. That was kind of the first thing that happened.
Yeah, it did some stuff that I expected it to do, but I wasn't expecting to be done at this point in time.
Yeah. It moved a little faster than I expected, because I think what we talked about last time was we weren't certain whether it would be one fiend per patch and then ending 6.5 with Golbez, or if they'd speed it up, and they sped it up.
They sure did.
As we once again got both dungeon and trial as a fiend with both Cagnazzo and Rubicante.
Mm-hmm.
I was also a bit surprised they did Zero's character arc of her actually doing something without payment in this patch. I was expecting it, but not here. But it actually makes sense.
Yeah. So I've seen some complaints that it was too fast, but I think if you take the hints we got about who she was and what she used to do, it makes sense because it's not really new. It's just her kind of remembering how it was.
I think
right?
Also if she's going to be part of the main team going forward for a long period of time, I think it kind of needed to happen now.
Yeah.
You don't want it to clog up too much of what will be the build up to 7.0. So it probably made sense to have it here. Yeah. And also it's a very natural development since we technically already saw her be selfless in that regard when it came to all the various void scent that she took in her domain.
Yeah, she's just being very tsundere about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked her development. I thought it went well. I enjoyed the solo instance.
That's the first time in a long time that they have you lose a solo instance, right?
Not sure.
It's been a bit. It's been a bit, yeah. I actually thought I'd failed because I was pretty certain it was clearable.
Yeah.
I just wasn't playing well.
Yeah, I thought I just said screw. I made some mistakes in a few places. I just thought, oh crap, I'm gonna have to redo all this again. And then it went, oh, okay, actually that's what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's weird for a failable instance in that it does feel winnable because usually the boss HP doesn't go down past a certain point. But when the first fail state happened, it's oh, I was this close to killing him.
Yeah, so. I don't know if it was just a tuning issue or if that's just how it's supposed to feel. But yeah, it felt winnable, and then but the damage was just a little too high. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it was cool. I always liked the role-playing solo instances. Actually, I like them more than the like regular ones. I feel like the regular gameplay works best when you actually aren't locked down by solo play.
Yeah, and also like they can just tune it tighter with the role play because they know exactly what you have and what you can do. I know a lot of people complain that it's too simple with just like the 4 or 5 buttons, but I mean not everybody has a fully set up Reaper hotbar, so you got to do what you got to do. So
I remember the first time they had you play as
Alpha. First time was Alpha.
The Alpha was fun, but when they had you play as what's his name? Not Cayenne. It's the samurai. What's his name?
Which one?
The samurai dude from Stormblood.
I just logged on him.
Ian, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Ian.
yes.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I was just thinking Cayenne. That's all I could think of.
Yeah.
Tells you how much we like Ian.
Yeah, when you play as Hien, like in I think it was like 4.5, when the war was like running to the fight to fight not Xenos. Like I remember like when that started, I was like, oh no, I don't remember at all how Samurai plays, but it works because you don't have to remember how Samurai plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, that's how it has to be designed. So because even as someone who has most of them. Has everything at 80 plus and a lot of them at a decent number of them 90 now. I don't remember how most of them play.
Yeah.
Like
I realized this patch that I only have Reaper at 89.
Oh.
And it bugged the hell out of me because I wanted to do the patch as Reaper. But actually, they gave you like unique dialogue even if you didn't play as Reaper. So
they did. So they counted if you now you don't have to play on it. I'm pretty certain you just have to have the stuff. I did do it on Reaper, and I kind of wished I didn't because I went from playing Zero to playing as Reaper, so kind of wish I won as Warrior, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's go ahead.
We got another dungeon that they let us go into afterwards, and this one was I thought it was interesting. It said you can use a mount here, but only during this quest, which was seems a little odd.
Yeah, you could use a mount in Troya too, but they didn't tell you. You had to notice that you could mount up. This time they told you. We did less running around in this one, so it was less necessary.
Lapis Manalis. It was a pretty cool dungeon. I love the dungeons and raids that start with you just on a moving vehicle fighting things. It's always a delight.
I'm surprised they brought back in this one the boss that grades you on killing it.
Oh yeah, that was a good fight.
I like the comment. I like the snarky comment. Not sorry, but the comment after you kill it. It's like, yeah, you fail. You're not even the weakest enemies wouldn't fear you.
Yeah,
it's dying.
I haven't checked to see if that changes based on your performance, like the Temple of the Fist one did. Probably does. I assume it does.
I've gotten 7 on it, where she says you can kill warrior level void creatures.
Cool. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Well, when we ran it, we didn't do very good the first time.
When we ran Lapis our first time, I didn't get to play the Cognazo fight.
Yeah. That was. I mean, I disconnected the moment I hit Onslaught, and then everybody else, I guess, thought they were going to wipe, but then I got in, and
I was the only one who had respawned back at start.
The healer sent me a raise. I'm like, yeah, I'll take this. We'll see how long we can last. And then Clear comes back, and it's like, oh, okay. I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, I got to play it yesterday. It's a fun fight.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think I like Scarmiglione's a little better, but this one was okay. I feel like they changed Cognazo's design a lot, but I don't remember much about Cognazo.
Like, so I've always kind of like made fun of Cognazo's design in the Final Fantasy IV, because it's just this awkward turtle with a human head.
Yeah.
But he looked badass now.
Yeah, they did. They was really good. Yeah. I didn't recognize him at first until the thing popped up. It's like, oh, of course.
Obviously they did they took liberties with the other ones as well, but Cognazo was definitely both Cognazo and Scarmiglione actually were
they were changed the most
ones. Yeah.
Barbariccia is still hot hot.
She's still a hot lady with long hair. Like,
yeah.
They did do something different with her getting her short hair design, similar to how they did with Rubicante this one.
Yeah. Rubicante's base design, I think, is basically the same. Just accounting for better graphics. Yeah, I will say I like Barbaricha's trial more. Rubicante is okay, but it just felt really slow, and
it felt too long.
Yeah, it does the thing with the. I don't even know what to call it, but it's like Japanese lot drawing, only circular.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call that.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it, but I feel like there's probably a really easy way to tell what that's going to do, and I just didn't catch it when we played it, and I haven't played it since. So. Yeah,
I did it once. It really every time it happened, I got how it worked, but it kept throwing me off because I wouldn't connect the right pieces.
The rotation when it rotated, that's when it started throwing me, and it's the same thing that I had with Zodiark, where the rotation just messed me up.
This expansion seems fond of the arena spatial alteration.
I bet it's the same battle design.
Yeah, probably. I haven't done the extreme, so I don't know if it's any different there, but I've heard it's basically the same idea.
The rotation ends up tricky just because you start to move the way the rotation arrow goes when that's not where the damage is going to go.
Yeah, that's the same. Mm-hmm. It's the same issue with Zodiark, because like with Zodiark, if the attacks rotated, I think I would have been fine, but because the arena rotated, it's just it's backwards from what you probably think. And
it's like you understand what's gonna happen, but your brain like reverses it.
Yeah,
and because it's 3 parts, it's the middle part that moves. I think it makes it really weird to kind of mentally get in the space to work it out.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like 2 parts that in the outer or inner part moved or something, it would be much easier to just kind of mentally make the connection.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm pretty certain, like at least in the extreme version, there's actually a really easy way to tell, and it's just you just have to know what it is, and once you recognize the pattern, you just know immediately where to go.
Yeah, that's usually how these things work.
But so it's just running it only once. It's like you can't tell because you're seeing it the first time. So
yeah,
but it was okay. I liked was it a different range of the battle theme compared to Barbaricha?
I don't know actually.
I think it was. So there's an old rearrange of the Rubicante theme by Hyodane.
Yeah.
And someone is so you can Google that up if you want. It's very funny.
I've had a question about that for the longest time.
But the one in the game in the Rubicante fight sounds really similar.
It does.
It's a rearrange, so it's not the original theme, but it sounds a lot like that specific rearrangement. And I've heard some people say that they actually are like had Hyodine come in and like do it, or they just specifically reference that one. And someone's gonna have to ask Soken about it sometime.
Yeah.
But because like as soon as I heard that rearrangement, because I'd never heard it before, I was like, oh well, that's like almost the exact same rearrangement. And I don't think they used it for the Barbaricha fight. I would have to go and check because no one brought it up then. So I'm pretty certain they didn't.
Anything else on the main story quest? I really liked how into Zero Alisaie was.
Oh, Alisaie really liked Zero.
Really
liked her. Alphino was definitely a little less thrilled about her, but I think that's just because Alphino is not. He saw her as like, oh no, it's tall Alisaie.
Yeah, pretty much. It was so funny because it was everything like it was basically once again like if I had written this scenario, that's how I would have played it.
Yeah, the whole time I was like, man, this feels like Yozora had consulted on this script. That's how she would have done it. I liked going back to seeing the Garleans again. What's his name? I can never remember his name.
Julian?
Julius.
Julius. Because we have to either add or remove letters from real names.
Yeah.
So his name can't be Julius, it has to be Julius.
Yes.
Alright, it's not just like it can't be Albert, it has to be Ardbert. Or Arbert.
Well, that one was even funnier because like wasn't he called Albert when he was
he was
the
Arbert.
Source?
He was Arbert in 3.4,
Oh yeah,
3.2, whatever it was.
The D.
And then they added that. Then his real name was actually Ardbert, and he had changed it to be Undercover. And it was like, because all of them changed to be like appropriate racial names for their whatever race they are on the Source.
Yeah, which was really pointless, by the way.
Heroes don't really have like Midlander heroes don't really have like racial names the same way. They're just like whatever. If you look up the guidelines for Midlander hero names, it's like whatever. There aren't any.
Speaking of that, like I can't half the enemies in Lapis Malalis just reads like names because they're all like Albus something.
Yeah,
you fight Albus Griffin. That could just be some player character. Like,
I guarantee you there is someone out there with the player name Albus Griffin. I guarantee. Yeah. There's no way there isn't. But yeah, no.
That player had the time of their life when they got to play 6.3.
It was the dungeon had an interesting combination of animals and void scent.
Yeah,
just mixed together, which was odd. And then mammoths before the second boss.
What was the first boss?
The first boss was the Yeti. It's called the Albion. It was like a Yeti-like thing, and it summoned a stampede of animals.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I kept getting hit by them because I couldn't figure out the tell for them while I was.
It's narrower than you think. Unlike the second bosses, which are wider than you think.
The reason I couldn't remember that is because we got Barden's Medal yesterday. I was no, that's the one with the stampede. It's not.
Yeah, we did both of them yesterday, and they both have stampedes. Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing, like the second boss's thing that we kept messing up on is when she does the jumping X attack, where she jumps and does the X attack.
Yeah, I keep thinking she's gonna make one in the middle first.
It's as big, and it's also the lines are as big as her hitbox, and her hitbox is bigger than you think because it's a lot bigger than she is. So if you try to, and it's big enough that I don't think you can max melee range greet it, or if you do, it's extremely tight. So if you keep trying to greet it, you're going to get hit by both the X's and you'll die because they hurt.
The fact it's also at an angle too makes it a little bit more difficult to judge, especially when it moves. Because to really do it properly, I think you need to find a good place to start, and then you need to your start place needs to be where you need to move for the second, and for the repeat one, the third and the fourth movement.
Well, what you need to do is figure out where you need to be until she goes to the middle. Then you go to the middle and sit there.
Yeah, you should only have once she starts jumping. You should only have to move once.
Yeah, it seemed like she went to the middle like the second time every time, I think.
It's a little random. It hasn't been the same every time. But she always jumps to... Once she does it, she does it the first time to show you with two spots. Then she always does it to 3 spots after that. 4 spots. No, 4 spots. Because she starts in the middle. Then she jumps to one side. And then she puts out the portals. And there's 4 of them. And so she will jump to the others. So you need to move to one that will be safe before she starts jumping, and then then you choose another one to jump to move to after she starts jumping. So once you know how it works, you can do it every time with nothing, with no.
Yeah, like we did much better on our second run, for example. Like,
it's just rough on melees because I don't think it's worth trying to greed. If you're ranged, you can just ignore it. It's whatever.
Yeah,
but I think melees, it's melees and tanks. Just like don't bother trying to uptime when she's jumping. It's just a dungeon boss.
It's just nice to not safe. It's nice to not get shat on for being a ranged player for once though.
Yeah. Just go somewhere safe.
See the same color rate.
Throw your ranged attack at her if you insist, but like it's just a dungeon boss. Don't try to greed uptime on a dungeon boss. You're just gonna get yourself killed.
Yeah, I think the second time I died too, I don't think I was even trying to hit it. I just was just slightly too close, and I didn't realize I wasn't quite close enough to the.
Like I said, they're way bigger than you think.
Yeah,
they're as big as you think, and then even bigger.
But yeah, I think for me the easy thing I look for is that once she goes to the middle, you can just go sit in the middle, and then you'll be safe from all the rest.
Yeah.
So
that's just the easiest way to do it. So now that we've talked about a dungeon boss for like 5 minutes, anything else in the main scenario? He is a good dungeon boss. That's one of the best dungeon bosses they've had in a while. She's better than Cagnazzo, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else. I did enjoy the little quest to get the thing running. I thought that was nicely done. I don't know why those engineers are still hanging out in that cave, but whatever. They can live wherever they want.
You can't move them because there's quests.
I know. It's just really funny that they're just gonna sit there for eternity, even though they could go literally anywhere else now.
Well, speaking of eternity, this is a slight tangent, but that poor lady in Mordona who's been possessed for the last 8 years, has finally been freed.
Oh, did they? Was that changed this patch? I need to go check that right now. I'm actually in the game.
They got rid of that quest. That was one of the quests.
She's still there? Is she still there?
I did not check for that. I didn't check if she was still there.
Go check it out.
I know they're
so
they're changing her for the something quest, right?
She was the Archmagus something.
Yeah, but they're adding her to something. They're adding her to Eureka. That's why she's going to be the Eureka Orthos.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because she's going to be part of the Eureka quest. So, yeah, her quest is gone, but I'm pretty certain she's going to be part of the unlock for Eureka Orthos.
Oh, huh. Interesting.
So, yeah, I just ported over to Mordona, and she's still standing here, but yeah, her quests are gone.
Yeah. So, for those who might not know what we're talking about, it's the character that you did the weekly quests for Crystal Tower. Which, there's no reason to do those anymore. So
there's been no reason to do them since Heaven's Sword started.
Yeah.
It's also was the most awkward way to get the upgrade items. Thankfully, they realized, just give you the drops and turn it in for the later 24 mans.
Yeah.
They were still figuring things out back in the 2.x series.
But yeah, it's
a lot of things.
Ko Rabantah. She's a moon Mikote with a pipe.
But anyway,
I'm looking at her now, and they use some of her animations for Yatsuyu later on. That pipe holding pose.
Oh.
Because she's got a long pipe like Yatsuyu had. So some of the animations I think they probably made for this lady originally ended up being used for Yatsuyu because Yatsuyu had the long pipe and everything.
That makes sense.
But yeah, she has no quest, but she's still there. But I'm pretty certain she's going to be involved in Eureka. She'll probably be the unlock for Eureka.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Let's see.
So is there anything else left to talk about? We haven't really talked about the end of the MSQ yet.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize. Yeah. So there's an ending cutscene. I was like, okay, it's showing something. It's showing the moon. I didn't quite get exactly what it was trying to tell me until I saw a clear image. Like, okay, that makes sense. But I'm just like, okay, it's showing them. Okay, so he's on the moon. It's showing the moon. It's like okay, he's in the crater for the that Zodiark was in.
Yeah. Golbez's little palace area is inside the 13th Zodiark crater, which is really clever.
I remember when Endwalker was coming out, and we all talked about how much we're gonna miss the.
Meanwhile, in the Garlean capital.
In the Garlean capital, and now we've gotten to on the moon in the 13th. So it's like, okay, that's amazing.
I'm betting we're going to somehow get back to the 13th through the crater on the moon.
Very possible, because we need a new spot.
Yeah, that's the thing about the end, because they closed the portal, which makes sense from a story beat, but that kind of wonders here, is the next main story quest going to be about us getting back to the 13th only, or are we just going to go, is it going to be quickly back to the 13th, Goblez, and then the real final boss?
I think we're gonna fight Golbez as the trial in 6.4.
Yeah.
And then 6.5 will be something entirely new, or not entirely new, but different from what we can expect now.
Yeah, this feels like something they're wrapping up next patch, and the Void still doesn't feel like something that we're going to be focusing on next expansion. It doesn't feel like something that it is usable for an expansion area for the entire expansion story at this
feels
point.
Like maybe some point in the future, but for now it feels like they're going to use it to establish a way for us to travel between worlds.
Yeah,
which is something that will be useful in general.
Yeah, I get the feeling here, if anything of this is going to be in the next expansion, they'll do a twist on the final boss, which will lead us into what the next expansion is.
Yeah. Well, and Golbez, presumably where he's not going to completely succeed, but there can be ramifications from whatever he does that causes something. I think is probably seems like a likely scenario. So he does something, he doesn't succeed, but it causes problems that then lead into what we do in the next expansion.
Well, it's still not even. I mean, it's not even clear like exactly what he wants, because it almost seems like he just wants to die as well.
Oh yeah, he absolutely does. But
yeah,
I feel like I don't know, but I think I'm confident in saying that we're gonna fight Golbez next time. I'm not confident on anything after that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm confident.
After that, it could be almost anything. We would just be like shots in the dark, just throwing darts, and who knows?
Yeah, that's pretty much. It could go all sorts of directions from it. I'm inclined to think that the 13th is not where we're going for the next expansion. But aside from that,
I'm pretty certain I think we're going somewhere on the source for the next expansion.
Yeah.
But I think the Void will be involved somehow, at least as like an instigating factor.
Yeah. That's kind of what I meant by the ramifications. Yeah. He's trying to cross into this world somehow, so I'm thinking something he does there is going to cause something somehow. So
now a line that is a small line, and I'm not quite sure it's throwaway, was Golbez's line that, we were told this by the Asians. Well, and I'm wondering if we're going to find stuff that the Asians did is basically we're going to clean up the mess.
The allegedly the French TL specifically uses the feminine version of Asian because apparently their Asian word is gendered male or female depending on which one they're talking about because it's French. So it's probably it's probably Iga Yorim. She's the one who screwed up the Void. So he probably heard it from her. That's probably all it really means. It's probably just Iga Yorim, and Iga Yorim is dead. So
I don't remember the exact thing. My interpretation was based on something that happened a long time ago and probably isn't accurate.
Yeah, I don't think it was recent. I think it was something that happened back when the Void got messed up.
That was my impression.
And it's almost certainly Iga Yorim. I don't even know if they'll ever expand on that because no one cares about Iga Yorim.
Hey, she's a champion of enlightenment and rhetoric.
Yeah, she's also been dead for 3 expansions. So
well, that also does mean that she's one where they could at some point just kind of have a backfill that when they feel like it at some point, just for kind of
which would be really funny. Which would be that would just be so funny because it's like, why did you not do this back in the expansion where she was at least allegedly a fairly major villain?
God, they really had no idea what the Asians were back then.
Yeah, no, they had no idea. That reminds me, I need to do a Therochemical to see the redone Ashian Prime fight.
Same.
Oh, right, I forgot that they redid that,
24-man raid.
Miss of the Realm.
Entirely. Yes.
Euphrosyne.
Lots of
we're just here to have fights. We're just here to have fights and have fun. That's all anybody is here for.
You are not immune to hot lady religion.
Man, there was a lot of hot lady religion in this patch.
Our row friend was very into what's her name when she showed up.
So we need to establish something here. When it was revealed that Nofika would be one of the it was Nofika, right? Yeah. One of the goddesses that we would fight this time. Yoshi P mentioned that he's aware of artwork made way back in, I think, 1.x?
Yeah, that was 1.x artwork, yeah.
Yeah, that depicts her as a very well-endowed lady. And
it's literally just exactly that artwork.
Yeah, but he was like, please keep your expectations within reason. And I don't know why he said that, because they delivered.
Yeah, no,
it's probably specifically that. It's probably specifically that people wouldn't expect to be exactly
the other gods who've had depictions have been redesigned a bit, but she's literally exactly that picture. The same dress, same hair, same everything. They're like, if we change this, people are just going to get pissed at us.
I'm very happy. I am I was incredibly pleased with her just appearing out of nowhere, and again just being like, "Here be tits." The other designs were great as well.
How Lune's look is pretty much Valkyrie profile. What's the name of the Valkyrie game?
What was that?
Because I swear it's like that old 80s Namco arcade game. I should know the name.
Oh, you're thinking Valkyrie, Legend of Valkyrie?
Yeah, it looked very, very familiar.
And she's also Saber, and she's also the lady from Tactics, and she's Catalina. She's every knight to ever exist.
And like again, like very, very pleased. Like,
it's the perfect design for her, but it's like, what did you think Halone was going to look like?
No, like that is exactly what Halone should have looked like, and like they just nailed it.
Yeah,
I loved her comment too about how like people think that she's fighting with what's her name, the fire lady.
Oh, Azema.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know what that's about, but okay.
Yeah,
I saw a funny tweet about how Ishgard is like destroyed by ice. Everything's all ice, and then they go and meet Halone, and like, guess what? More ice.
Yeah,
just ice everywhere. It's all
and
ice.
The last boss was also.
Well, before we get to the last boss, hold on.
Yeah, before we get to the last boss,
let's talk about the twins first. Well, the other, not the twins last time, but the new twins.
Yeah, Alphic and
Naimea, who I gotta say, I don't know if there's ever been like a good like image of either of them ever created, so I don't think anybody had an expectation. Their designs are interesting. They're definitely not what I probably would have expected.
I didn't expect Naimea to have my hair.
Yeah.
My real life hair. I was not prepared for that.
She's got this hood, which I was not expecting her to have, which was weird.
She looks so cool.
She does look very cool.
She's probably the most unique looking of the ones here.
Yeah.
Like the other ones have their typical tropes they fall into, but she looks like really different.
Yeah, I like that fight. It was that fight actually has an enrage. Generally, 24-man fights don't have like real enrages, but they get a buff at the start of the fight. It's like 8 minutes, and if it runs down, they win.
I guess that makes sense because of the whole time aspect.
Yeah, so like the buff is literally 8 minutes until victory. Or time. The buff is like time until victory. And
that's pretty cool.
And it says like when this expires, Athic and Naimea win. And so like, if you remember from the trailer, there was a scene of that fight where everybody lifts into the air, and when that doesn't happen, that's the enrage.
Oh, cool! I love how Naimea apparently wasn't going to be there, but just shows up as well.
Yeah.
I think also it's probably the most challenging of the fights, just because there's so much going on that can be difficult to understand at first.
Here, let me tell you something. Here's a tip. All you got to do is tanks have to keep them separated, and I just tank Naimea, because then I can ignore everything else. Because if you're tanking Naimea, you either look at her or you look away from her. You stand in the dark spot. You stand in the dark stuff when the raise up cast starts. And then just ignore whatever Althic's doing. And if the big cone shows up, you've got like 5 hours to get your way out of that.
Do not ignore what Alphic is doing if he's linking to one of the...
Yeah, just pay attention to if the only thing you need to pay attention to what he's doing is the big cone, and just run out of it because it's way longer than you think. And if he's linked himself to one of the to something, that one's going to go off first. That's all you got to remember. And if you're like tanking Naimea, all you got to do is either look at her or not look at her. If the buff is pink, look at her. Don't look at her. If the buff is green, look at her. That's all you got.
It's just like that boss from Ivalice.
Yeah.
With the mask.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good fight. I like that one a lot. Then we had Minfina, who...
Oh, God. I
don't
love
think
that fight so much.
That's a
She
cool
has
fight.
my favorite. She has my favorite design of the bunch.
It's a really unusual design for her role, partially because I think Nofika is what you'd probably expect Minfina to look like if you were just reading. If you read the summaries of their roles, you'd probably expect Minfina to be more like Nofika. But
I was like so worried because like Minfina's like my guardian and like the one I've like themed parts of my character background around. But I'm so happy with her. She was amazing.
Yeah, they did a really good job with her. I think the fight is like it's fine. It's not the most interesting of the fights. I think both Halone and Althik and Naimea are more interesting, but it's a pretty good fight. Usually the third fight is the most stressful of recent Alliance raids anyway. But it was a fine fight. I liked the theming of it. They did a good job with the dog and the moon theme and all that kind of stuff. So
now
I thought it was neat how they were like. So she was like, well, yeah. At some point, the Alligans they put that moon up, and then I got a dog, and like that's just how it works. It's just things that happen.
Now
whatever.
What I was kind of surprised at, I knew they were going to do, but I thought they would do in the final raid tier, is we got the two separate gods here, meaning we do have in the next...
We have an extra slot now.
Extra slot. And given the quests after the main dungeon where they're hinting at, oh, there's a 13th, it's like, oh, who is this 13th?
Well, I mean, they say it's the Watcher. I think they're probably correct, simply because I don't think there's any reason for them to put a big twist here.
Yeah, especially now that there's also like clear hints that all of them are.
They're Venat's convocation essentially.
Yeah,
and I saw something that apparently people have found lines that they basically figure out which Elpis characters the twins are.
Yeah, there are these. They were in a side quest, I think, and they have an exact same exchange of lines in the fight and in that quest.
Yeah, my brother doesn't express it well or something. Yeah.
I think they should make Menfina Saphos.
Yeah, they probably should. Either that, probably, yeah. On that subject, man, there sure is a lot of Nofika and Halone art going around.
As there should be.
Yeah.
This entire like the patches for Endwalker have just been like hot women.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
Like, this patch in particular, women bosses everywhere.
Yeah.
other than the trial, but everywhere else.
The other thing I was going to talk about. So we've got 3 gods left. We have I gotta look up the list again. I wish I could have written the names. FFXIV gods. There's too many gods in this game. Okay, so let's see. Let's go through. We had Halone. We had Minfina. We had Naimea. We had Byragot. We had Rhalgr, Azema, Naldthal, Nofika, and Althik. That leaves Thaliak, Limlane, and Oshan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oshan is the only one of those I remember ever hearing.
Okay, so Oshan is the Wanderer. And so Oshan is probably the adventurer dude. What's his name? The guy who started this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would make sense.
He's almost certainly Oshan. Either he knows it and he's just, playing along, or he doesn't know. But Oshan's entire thing is wandering. He's the god of adventurers. He's the god of vagrants. He's just that guy. He is literally that guy. Limlane is the navigator, god of the sea, goddess of the sea. I keep thinking Limlane is the guy. Limlane is the goddess of the sea, and she's allegedly the elder sister of Nofika, but we already know that kind of thing is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then we have, who is the other one? Thaliak. He's the scholar, and he's the patron saint of Charlayan. So we already actually have some depictions of him already.
Yeah, we have the big statue.
We have the big statue. So him, and he's allegedly the father of Limlane, but again, those relationships aren't necessarily real. So those are the 3 we have left, and then we have a space for a final god who is probably the unnamed god, who we didn't know about until now. There was no indication of this until now, but it does make sense because if you take the 12 plus the unnamed plus Vinat, you're back at 14, and you got to have 14 of them, right?
Yeah.
You got to have 14. You can't not have 14 because it's Final Fantasy 14.
So I suppose the question is this 13th, is it the guy we've been going around with following things, or is it the monkey?
No, so no, I don't think it's either. I think either the guy or the monkey is Oshan.
I think it's going to be the monkey.
But anyway, the guy is definitely associated with Oshan.
Yes,
he is absolutely Oshan. In the quest, they suggest that the 13th is the Watcher on the moon, which is reasonable.
It is reasonable, but also the Watcher is just he's such a strange character.
I think it's gonna end up being not wrong, but not quite right.
Yeah.
I think we will go and talk to him, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I could have told you all about this to begin with. You just never asked."
Yeah.
Right. Because he's got no reason to keep any of this stuff secret.
He's retired.
Yeah, he's retired. His job's done. He's like, oh yeah. I mean, just if you ask me a question and I know the answer, I'll tell you. You just gotta know the question to ask. Because he knows a bajillion things. He's not gonna volunteer information. He doesn't know what we need to know. So yeah, I think he either is the 13th god or he is connected to it in some way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But the explorer dude whose name I cannot remember.
No, me neither.
Hold on. Derek. Spelled with a Y. Because it can't be a normal name. He's a Midlander hero, so he's got to have almost a normal name, but not quite. That's the rule for Midlander heroes. Their names have to be almost normal, but not quite normal.
Speaking of the NPCs, I like Grahatia's Gleamer cosplay.
His whole big backpack and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really funny.
I like also who got the items.
I'm wandering around Mordona, right? So I got the Red Mage quest girl, Arya, with a Y, because she's a Midlander here. That's what it is. So yeah. Anyway, that's my theories. Anyone else have a comment?
No, that's pretty much what I think as well.
I
did like when because we trying to decipher this thing, and they tell you if you defeat us, we'll give you an item that helps you decipher the thing you want to decipher. And we get a fucking tombstone.
We get a tombstone with poetics. That's so funny.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Manifest was like, right, of course. What else could it have been?
I love how that's become a running gag at this point. Our character just can't escape tombstones. First it was the thing in Shadowbringers where we arrive on the fucking first. And we see tombstone smartphones.
There's a bunch of tombstones.
Yeah, my character's face when that happened was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. That was good. I like how the gods are sort of like, we're just gonna follow along with you, have a little fun, just whatever. And
yeah,
so
it was fun having them walk around. Do you think once we're done with Myths of the Realm that the gods will disappear?
No. Nothing's indicating that. I just think that we're gonna get the answer, and then they'll just maybe just show up occasionally, wandering around and not really do much, because it doesn't seem like they actually do much.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to actually remind me. They're trying to accomplish something with all of this. I don't actually mean they have this thing going on with can we? They didn't want to tell us because they wanted us to wait till they could trust us or something. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
What exactly are they trying to accomplish?
There's something they want or need, but we don't know what it is. That's the big secret.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're going to. I think the twist there is they're going to want to be mortal, that they're not going to disappear, but they're going to just want to live out the rest of their days normally.
Yeah, I think with the Zodiac gone, whatever they were needed for is kind of not necessary anymore, or just has been long enough that they don't need to do whatever they were originally there for. It's probably kind of like to release them from that. Whether they'll, I don't think they're necessarily going to all disappear, but yeah, I think they might.
Yeah. I think because it's been kind of like one consistent theme of this game is basically that like if there are gods around, we kill them.
Yeah,
and this is the first time where like the rules are kind of different. It seems so.
Yeah. But also, I mean, the big thing is that like, at no point in this setting, at any point, have we actually encountered what would, like, from a Western point of view, like a modern Western point of view, be a god. They're all like powerful beings,
creator god,
but there are no real creator gods. Like you could argue Vinat is a type of that, but she isn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to like. So, like, with what we know now, we could actually establish a much more coherent mythology that would be, like, a much more reasonable basis for all of this. But, like, she's still not a creator. She just was the one who instigated the creation of the modern situation.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say anything about, like, we still know nothing about who or what created the whole overall universe. Because, like...
Hell, honestly, the indication, the mention of the heat death of the universe in Walker's story very much indicate that they might be going with a fully like non-mythological explanation for that.
Yeah, that's what I think, and I think that it's just like maybe just specifically Etheris just has a really weird set of metaphysics that maybe don't apply to everybody else. We don't know. One other thing I wanted to bring up, because they brought it up, because of course they did, was we got the Lambs of Dalamud again.
Oh yeah!
It's like
I forgot about that.
So like everybody forgets about the Lambs of Dalamud because it's an absolute drop plot point.
Yeah,
like,
that came up and I was like, what was this again?
So the Lambs of Dalamud started as a thing towards the end of 1.x, right? Where the Dalamud was falling. They're a cult that formed in. They're a cult of Minfina, because she's the goddess of the moon. And it was basically just a way to, like, from what I said, just a way to add flavor to the whole moon falling thing, right?
Yeah.
They showed up a couple times later on in 2.0. They were the villains in Tamtara, and they showed up one or two other places. But like, Dalamud fell, and they were like, "What are you even doing? What's your point? You're nothing other than just like a dead end cult now." So they got largely forgotten because there's nothing to do with them. All right, we know what Dalamud was. We know it wasn't actually a real moon.
I mean, neither is the moon.
Neither is the moon, but it's as real. Like it's a lot more real than the Dalamud was. But anyway, and we learned in this patch that when the Alligans put Dalamud up and people started to believe it, and people forgot what it was and started worshipping it, she got the Hound Dalamud, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we met this one Lamb of Dalamud who is like probably like one of the last ones left, and we give him some nice words of encouragement. Minfina's like, I hope he does well. Gives him a nice little gambare, and then there he goes. Hopefully he'll take the robe off and find something else to do. And
we'll never see them again, because it felt like we just wanted to close off this plot point from way back when.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
You say that, but at this point, I am never trusting we'll never see them again.
It'll be really funny when he shows up again in like 4 expansions.
Yeah, we might see him again. That would be really funny.
Oh yeah, it'll be him specifically.
I don't think we're going to see the Lambs again, because I think that's thoroughly.
Yeah.
It's like how in the Dark Knight story when like in the I think it's the post Shadowbringers Dark Knight story, when you run into like the merchant like
oh yeah.
That you yelled out in in the Heavensward job story. Who's just like a farmer now, and that it'll be something like that, just completely random. But
yeah. So yeah, I don't think the next part's gonna have any huge surprises, except for whatever it is they want from us. But everything else has been fairly well signposted as for what's happening. just like here, but pretty much proceeded as we had expected. Just with a couple minor changes, but. And Yoshi P said that Miss of the Realm wasn't going to be anything super duper dramatic. Alright, so what else do we have?
So has anybody else done the new custom delivery quests?
Yes.
Oh, I started it. I haven't gotten very far because it's only the second week, so I need to go do that.
I haven't touched it yet.
I almost completely forgot about it, and then I was lamenting in our Discord about the lack of Feoul appearing, even though they can go between worlds. Yeah. And our mutual friend Camilla was like, "You should, by the way, you should do that Pixie delivery quest thing."
Yeah,
I think. I guess I'll do that. And Feoul shows up in that.
Yeah.
I forgot.
And like they say, all you have to do is ask.
Yeah. And it's actually our idea this time to ask. I like that.
I like the selections there because it gave you had 3 choices and they were all very good.
Yeah.
They were all very good, yes. It's okay so far. I don't have many thoughts on it. I think it's gonna be a delivery vehicle for Pixie shenanigans mostly.
Yeah, it's very much if you missed the Pixies being little monsters, then here's a little thing for you.
Yeah, it's fine. I still haven't finished the Omicron quest, but
speaking of the Omicron
quest, I'm so sorry about that noise. That's the cat.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, somebody hitting the. I haven't finished the Omicron quest because I've been just not doing it every day, but
I think I'm near them. I think I'm near the end for that. But yeah, so the one thing about those is that I remember in Shadowbringers, I leveled 2 entire jobs from the minimum to the maximum by finishing the quests. I feel like in this one the experience is the same, but I feel like I'm getting the story segments much quicker.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's the experience. I think that just it's more experience per level. So I feel like. But I think it was going a little too fast. I think they felt the gathering jobs leveled a little too fast.
I don't know, because I thought the story stuff for the other tribal quest also kind of went quickly too.
Well,
at least compared to the previous expansions.
Well, I think combat is about the same as previous ones. We don't have the crafting one yet. Crafting I think went about as fast, but you have more crafters to level. But for gatherers in Shadowbringers, I finished the story and I had pretty much I leveled 2 of the 3 jobs in the process. For this one, I think I'm near the end and I haven't quite finished leveling Fisher. But I think the difference isn't the amount of experience. I think it feels like I'm getting the new quests, the new story parts much quicker. I feel like the gap between those has shrunk a lot compared to usual because I feel like every couple of days I'm getting a new story quest for that. Whereas in the past, I think usually after the first one, it's 5 days for the next one and a week or so after that between them. And here I feel like I'm getting the story quests quicker than in the past.
I'm not certain. We'd have to look at this how that's working out. I don't know. It's felt about the same, but I think it is a little less XP. I think that's what it really is, but I don't know.
Okay, maybe.
But yeah, they've been fun. Better than the Arca Sodara quests, which weren't bad. They were just okay.
Yeah, there's kind of there.
But the Omicrons are fun. Stigma 4 is always entertainingly insulting to you.
I just got to the others. I finished their part. I thought they were very fun.
Yeah,
the fish people, the otter people,
yeah. The Omicron and Jamming Way both have some pretty funny lines, but the machine in particular, a lot just constant.
It's funny when you're playing a Vieira because it's like everybody involved has bunny ears now.
Hey, you can wear bunny ears if you're not a Vieira too.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It kind of gives you the same kind of feel as who was it? The ant people, the bug people from Heaven's Ward, who I really enjoyed.
I love.
And who was it?
The Vath.
one of the others I gave me. I feel like that. Let me pull up my reputation tab.
The Stormblood, catfish?
The dwarves from.
Oh
yeah.
It kind of has that kind of feel where it's like no one involved actually knows what they're doing. They're just we're just doing stuff, and we maybe work something out in the end. But at least this time we're not making a tank. So,
let's see.
But yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it.
Tartarus, Grand Endeavor.
This was. Did you want more Four Lords content? Because this is just more Four Lords content.
With a really good payoff.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It tied together well. I feel like I'd seen that dude before somewhere, but not the row merchant dude, but the guy, the scammer guy. I felt like I'd seen him before, but it might just be he has that generic Eastern haircut that just makes everybody look silly.
I do like that the cutscenes did show off here the definite changes they've done in framing and lighting, because there were some real dramatic close-ups.
Oh yeah,
they've just gotten better at it. You can really tell.
For the most part, then there's Ultima Thule, which they need to do something about the lighting there. It's a disaster.
Your gamma's just off. You need to brighten your gamma. If it's too dark, you need to up your gamma a little bit.
But the problem is that everything everywhere else is too bright. But anyway, it's weird. But the Tataru thing is the one thing I haven't gotten to. I think I still have the one from the last patch to do as well.
Yeah.
This patch is better than the last patch, I think.
Yeah, last patches is okay. This one's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's more Four Lord stuff. Did you enjoy Soroban being extremely put upon by the other auspices? If so, you will greatly enjoy this one.
I honestly, I wasn't big on the Four Lords, but I really did like this quest line this time.
I feel like their later appearances in like seasonal quests and stuff have really helped flesh them out as characters.
When Byaku showed up and such.
Yeah, and like Byaku didn't talk. I feel like we didn't get as much of Byaku in his part of the quest as we did Seiryu and Suzaku in theirs. So I feel like he's gotten a little more fleshed out in this one, and he's very funny.
Yeah.
He was very indignant at one point, which was also very funny. When the fake version of him showed up, that was extremely funny.
I think also what made this as well was the outfits that they wear when they go into the city, especially Suzaku. So it's just like,
that was a nice nod to their appearances in the seasonal quests. They need to get more. That just means they need to get more Kigurumi outfits. We need a big cat. We need a scaly Kigurumi at some point.
Oh yeah.
For Seiryu, so they can all have their proper thing. Suzaku is like. It's very funny how much she's just like the whole way they've set her up and the way they've themed her is she's just literally Kiara.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's the obvious thing to do with that kind of character. It's just funny that it's happened twice independently.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, she's a phoenix, but also she's just a chicken. Anyway, it's just funny. That's the thing. I could not think of that whenever I looked at her in the chicken.
Oh yeah,
it's like
yeah. I mean, same. By the way, speaking of seasonal content, we did have the New Year's content. I want to know what did all you get as your fortune?
I got great luck. I don't remember. I have it saved somewhere. I have the actual thing saved. Let me see if I can pull up what it said.
I can read mine while you look it up.
Yeah, I only did it once, so I got great luck.
Same.
Like, all right, not doing that again.
I got good fortune. Thou shalt experience exceptional fortune. Keep his words of guidance in thy heart. Adventure. Participate in festivities and feel the turning of the seasons. Relationships. Friendship will bloom. Take the lead and gather comrades. Prosperity. Invest in thy home. From it fortune shall grow. Conflict. In the pursuit of fell fiends far and wide, thou shalt find good fortune and favor. be creative like unto the builder, and a surer hand of craftsmanship shall be thine.
Where did I put that? I know I did it while we were...
Apparently I put it in the Alliance Raid folder, so that's...
Yeah. I got Fair Fortune. Thou shalt experience moderate fortune. Keep these words of guidance in thy heart. Adventure.
Oh, there it is.
Place thyself in fate's hand, and thou wilt surely grow. Relationship. Where words fail to convey thy feelings, gestures may yet succeed. Prosperity. Wealth lieth in the seas and skies. Send forth the vessels to explore. Conflict. Dwell not overmuch in sweet victory, or bitter defeat shall follow. Favor. Be wise like unto the scholar, and thou shalt find a way to overcome a misfortune.
So yeah, I got great fortune. Thou shalt experience extraordinary fortune. Keep these words of guidance in thy heart. Adventure, thou shalt be blessed with the weather. Relationships, to thy companions thou shalt be indebted. Forget not to express thine appreciation. Prosperity, upon thee luck shall smile. Seek riches in gilded halls. Conflict, great opportunities for growth lie in fields yet unexplored. And favor, be inquisitive like unto the wanderer, and thou shalt find much joy in the journeys.
So I got fair, but I didn't keep a screenshot, so...
Well, I think I covered that one for you. Yeah. So
it was for a New Year's quest. It was pretty good. I'm glad we didn't do mochi pounding again. I was getting a little tired of the mochi pounding fate because I've done that a bunch of times.
We got a suit of armor. That was fun.
Yeah, we didn't get helmets this year.
Well, they've done all the helmets because this is the 12th year.
Yep.
They did the bunny helmets the first year of 1.0, right?
Yep.
So most people don't even have the bunny helmets.
Nope.
I don't even know if you can get them. But whatever. Like, I keep the helmets, but I don't care about them. So whatever. And the armor doesn't fit my style. So, but it was nice to have.
I just stick all of mine in the armor and never touch them again.
Yeah, that's where they all are.
Pretty much, yeah.
You get the seasonal stuff. You stuff in the armoire, and then you can use it whenever you need it. But yeah, we did a full Zodiac cycle, which is pretty neat, actually. That's not an easy thing to do. Certain other games are working their way towards that.
Grand Blue.
Yeah, like Grand Blue. But yeah, no, it was fun. I thought it was a neat thing to do.
It was cute because it brought some NPCs from other stuff that we had a short little.
Yeah, it brought in those that adventurer trio from somewhere. Where are they from? Where were they originally?
I looked up one of them. I don't. One of them was in some other seasonal quest before. I forget the lady. I looked up the lady. Like I see her somewhere.
They were in crafting quests.
Oh yeah, they're in the
armor quest.
Armor quest, yeah.
That's why that guy has that nice gold armor, I think.
Right.
But yeah, I saw them and I was like, man, those guys look familiar. Oh, speaking of adventurers, so let's move on to those void quests real quick. Okay, so those were pretty good. I enjoyed seeing the backstories of Cagnazzo and Rubicante. They were pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought they were fine.
I like that Rubicante was a row. That makes sense. I like that Rubicante was an aura. That's unexpected.
Yeah, I like getting their backstory filled out. I didn't find them quite as interesting as the previous two, but they were
nice.
It was fine.
They told you a bit about them. But anyway, what I want to talk about, in the one where they talking about the second one with Cagnazzo, I think. After you do the fisherman one, the second one,
where three ladies are talking about
the three ladies. I hadn't noticed those three aura before. Those are some hot aura.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. They went out of their way for these three generic little NPCs that are never going to do anything.
And they stick around.
Yeah, they're just standing there. I was like, you'd think you'd see every variation possible in this game's face and body designs, and I don't know. But yeah, there's just these three random aura ladies just standing right outside the treasure map vault.
Yeah.
And
I thought they were cute. I didn't notice anything particular about the designs they were using, but it's they're cute. It'd be nice to see them again, but probably won't. I did think it was funny that they were talking about the treasure dungeons.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's where the Stormblood treasure dungeons are, behind that door. That's what they are. That's where they are.
But speaking of things looking good, one thing we didn't talk about MSQ is that when you broke open the booze.
The booze, yeah. Yeah, they went way above and beyond on that animation.
Oh yeah.
So like
that was really good.
Like, a lot of people really underestimate how hard it is to get game characters to hold things that aren't like
stretch things
and that aren't like built into their model. Like, there's specific, like all the weapons have specific attachment points, like designed for the weapon in the with bones attachments for the models for every weapon, and that's like how it works so well. But you can't just like attach an arbitrary thing to a character and have it work right. It's just very difficult.
It's when most of the things in cutscenes, when people hand over things, yeah.
Or their hands go behind their back and suddenly they have something.
Yeah, and they've been trying to do better about that. But it's like they can't. It's like modeling every little thing is like difficult. But they're trying to do better about that, clearly. But like this and like breaking it open and then actually taking a bite of it was like way above and beyond.
I'm pretty sure there were 2 bites taken of it.
Yeah, they made
impressive.
They made 2 different variations, at least 2 different variations of the split model, so that a bite could be taken. They framed it exactly so that it looked like it was actually being bitten into. It was like really impressive stuff for a completely throwaway main scenario cutscene. That was like you did not need to flex that hard on the pork butt. Like you didn't need to do that.
It kind of makes sense because there has been a lot of food scenes in this expansion pack, like the dinner we had
with the giant hamburger. Yeah,
there was just a lot of food they didn't need to do in that scene, but they did, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
So early in this expansion, in one of the first live layers, didn't they say something that over the course of the expansion they're doing some sort of like behind the scene graphic upgrade stuff slowly?
Graphic upgrades are coming in 7.0.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're working on the back end right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought there was something about that. Yeah.
I am terrified
this is new animation tools that they're developing. Who knows?
I'm just so worried I'm gonna have to upgrade my PC.
I don't think it's gonna be that much. Like, I mean, I know your PC's not amazing, but it's also not that bad.
It does run 14
I'm pretty certain
on
your
Ultra,
PC.
So yeah.
I'm pretty certain your PC is better than a PS4. And it's still going to support
most of the time, at least, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not a direct comparison, but like, it's if you can run it right now in Ultra, at worst you might have to knock a couple of things down.
Yeah. I mean, I bought this PC for Heaven's Word.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it's going to be that much, and I think a lot of it will be like you can turn stuff off.
Yeah, probably.
But a lot of it is going to be like just general like texture and lighting improvements. Ultimately,
it will be nice.
And they're not gonna have like
super pixelated armor.
Yeah, I think there's still gonna be a lot of bad textures around.
Oh,
but I don't think we're gonna get like people want like 4K textures stuff. Like they're not gonna do that.
People expect like Final Fantasy 16, and that's not gonna happen.
And like here's the thing, I think that if you really look hard at Final Fantasy 16. It's going to look a lot more like Final Fantasy 14 than people are expecting.
Okay, yeah, sure. Maybe a better comparison would be like, I don't know,
The Last of
Us. Yeah.
Like, no, but like looking at Final Fantasy 16, the big things I'm seeing in Final Fantasy 16 is it has amazing lighting.
Yeah.
The lighting is really good. Like the character models look like,
and it's so
slightly
funny.
better Final Fantasy 14 ones. Honestly.
It's so funny because it's fucking Unreal Engine. And, like, I honestly think the lighting looks better in that than in Forspoken, which is, like, the big Luminous studio engine.
I cannot express how I have zero interest in Forspoken. Like,
I had a lot of interest before the writing started appearing.
I decided I don't care. The only game this year I'm definitely going to play is Rise of 3. I might play 16, maybe.
Yeah, so I remember the very first trailer we saw had me. The writing didn't seem great. It was something about its use of the F-bombs was like kind of cringy. Then the more recent one came out, I was like, okay, I'm not touching this.
Every single time, I always forget that it's an isekai story. I always forget that until I'm forcibly reminded. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why.
I'm still amazed that Stranger of Paradise isn't an isekai story.
See, that's amazing.
The Final Fantasy game where the main character listens to fucking... Is it Linkin Park? I think it's Linkin Park. It's not an isekai game.
I don't have any interest in playing Stranger of Paradise, but I do love how it just like... It's going to do stuff, and it does not care if you think it's cool or not. It thinks it's cool, and that's all.
So I haven't played it yet. I want to play it. I've been waiting for like a version with all the DLC to come out. But I do want to mention this.
I feel like I might get eventually.
Yeah, the last DLC released this week. And it has the Emperor from Final Fantasy II as the main villain. And cool. When fucking Jack Garland shows up to talk to the Emperor, the Emperor does like some big theatrical speech of how evil he is. Jack Garland just goes like, "Knew you'd be talking bullshit. You got the look." And it's like, beautiful. Best writing in video games. Thank you.
Honestly, yeah, Stranger of Paradise is one of the games which I don't know if I'll ever play it, but I like that it exists. I appreciate that it just exists. And it's part of Final Fantasy, and it's just gonna always be there. And
it's a fucking remake of Final Fantasy 1.
And you'll just always, and in every lineup of the best user of every job, you'll always have Jack Garland with his fist out.
I love that so
and it's
much.
like, that's perfect. No notes. You took what you took, the quintessential lame video game protagonist, and you made him perfect because you just did not.
Yeah, I've never turned on a video game protagonist as hard as I did Jack Garland between reveal and everything else.
Yeah, like a lot of times I'm like, man, this could have just been somebody more interesting. Like, no, this absolutely, there couldn't have been anybody else. It had to be him.
Yeah.
No, you could not have done that character with a female character because the joke would not work.
Yeah, no, it had to be.
Does not work.
It had to be generic white man.
A balding generic white man with an attitude. That's the only way it works. Anyway,
I think the only new game I'm interested in this year is the new Final Fantasy VII part. That's this year, isn't it?
Rebirth, probably. It's either this year or next year.
I only care about that if I get a PS5, and who knows if that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the problem for me, is I need to actually get a PS5 for that, which is still a big issue. I
mean, I've gone from, I want a PS5 and I can't get one, to, I could probably get a PS5 and I don't know if I want to.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try before 16 comes out, but we'll see.
I mean, at this point, I might just wait till it comes out on PC, and I'll just do it on PC.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, the thing with PC is it's going to depend on the graphics cards, because, well...
Oh, yeah, I'll need to update my graphics card at some point, but I've needed to do that for a while.
The problem with graphics cards is the new ones are all stupid expensive for what they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I will get a new graphics card at some point, but I'll worry about that later. I don't care.
But
like I said, the only thing I care about is Ryza 3, and Ryza 3 is not going to need a good graphics card.
You can play that on Switch, so it's like, it's fine.
It's like, I mean, look. Honestly, I'll say this: Gust has gotten a lot better at this. All right, they're doing pretty good now. So I'm confident Ryza 2 will be fine.
The entire Ryza trilogy has like really nice like production values and performance.
Yeah. I played Ryza. I played Ryza 2, and Blue Reflection Tai on PC, and I only had one crash across all three of them. And they're all essentially the same engine. They're literally.
I haven't played Second Light yet. I got that for Christmas, but I haven't played it yet. So
I had one crash in Ryza 2, and that was the only time I had any issues. And that was just because I had that open. I had 2 BlueStack instances open. I was running Grand Blue raids all at the same time, and it's like. My computer's like, no, that's too much. That is just like way. And I was watching a YouTube video at the same time, so I was like, I was like ultra multitasking. So I'm like, just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Granted, this was on a PS5, but when Second Light here was smooth on it compared to the first Blue Reflection, and I was playing it on a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
And the first
Blue
Reflection chugged.
We are way off topic.
We are, but yeah.
So let's see. I think we have actually covered most everything we wanted to talk about.
I think so. Yeah.
None of us have done the Unreal. I have no interest. I did run some of Sophia back when she was first out, and I didn't like it, and I don't feel like doing it again. Because like Sephiroth Extreme is like a really hard fight, but it's fun. Sophia Extreme is not as hard, but it's also really boring.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because, like, I don't know. And apparently now it's like you just trivialize half her stuff with knockback resistance because we didn't have that at the time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well,
So,
I can solo Underground. I don't even use it without even using knockback resistance. You just can DPS it enough that it's not really a major issue.
But like the Unreal, like
obviously you can't.
For the Unreal, like you either have Surecast or Arm's Length up all the time, so it's like you don't even have to worry about it. I didn't do Rubicante. I haven't done Rubicante Extreme. I've heard it's not too bad, but again,
I still haven't done any Extreme except Zodiark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably do it, but again, I'm not interested in farming mounts. I will just wait till they show up in the Moogle treasure tomes, and I'm just not going to worry about it because I don't feel like hassling with Party Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the real issue. I just don't like dealing with that. But yeah, but of course I have to get them from the Moogle Tome means you have to actually be doing content during that. So I didn't get the one last time because I logged in for the Christmas event. And I was like,
I see. Well, yeah.
Like...
when a Moogle Tome comes out, that basically makes me log in to at least get the mounts I don't have. So.
Yeah, I considered it, but I was like, I don't feel like it.
So
I'm not sure. I don't remember which one was in the shop here, but I think they're far back enough that my next expansion I could probably solo the fights for it.
So the next content that's coming out is Palace. Not Palace. It's the Deep Dungeon, right?
Yeah. Eureka Orthos.
Yeah.
In Mordona. Deep Dungeon, normal stuff. Couple changes, like instead of the summons to clear the floors, like in Heaven on High, you change into one of several like powerful NPCs, sort of like the succubus transformation from Palace of the Dead, except for more versatile. Looks pretty neat. Cool. Otherwise, works the same way. It's got the Pomanders and everything, so nothing new there. 100 floors like Heaven on High, not 200. And then we also have the real start of the Hildebrand relics. And we'll see what they have for us.
It'll be interesting.
We don't have an exploration zone this time, so
it'll be interesting what they do. I'm hoping they do it more in ways more conducive to me casually doing stuff, grinding it out in the future expansions than the last couple have been.
Yeah. And also, possibly by the time people are even listening to this, the new Ultimate will be out. Because that comes out on Tuesday. The Omega Protocol.
Yeah.
Do we know what bosses have they indicated for that one?
All we know is it's Omega. Like we know Omega is the boss, but we don't know if there are any other bosses. There have been some indications from data mining that some of the other Omega series bosses may show up somehow, possibly as like attacks or something. But I think the general assumption is that the boss is Omega the entire time, just in various forms. But it starts with Crab Omega, so starts with standard Omega.
Yeah.
Yoshi P started in the live letter just to show the first little bit, and it's just Omega. It's like floor 11 of the final Omega tier. So, but yeah, we don't know. I expect there at least be references to probably the XDEF and Kefka and some of the others, but I don't think they'll show up as like bosses. That's my assumption. It's like Omega will use some of their attacks.
See, I don't know if they would, but I think it would be funny if they threw Level Checker in there as a boss.
There will absolutely be a Level Checker.
I really hope so.
I guarantee there will absolutely be Level Checker as a phase. Probably what's going to happen is they'll start with the Beetle Crab Omega, and then there'll be a Level Checker, DPS check, and then it'll be like Omega F, Omega M, and then the Savage Final Omega, and then probably some new version after that. That's my guess. There you go. That's my prediction.
Megasormer might be there as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he might show up as attacks, but I really feel like it's just going to be Omega as the boss.
Yeah.
If they throw something,
they just did a whole dragon ultimate.
That is true.
They just did a whole thing about fighting dragons. So it would be kind of nice to have one that has no dragons, because there's been a lot of dragons in Ultimate.
If they do
half the Ultimates so far have been about dragons.
If they do throw something new in, I wouldn't be shocked if they try to do something from Ultima Thule, like maybe like that Sphere Eye could be a phase.
Yeah, we might see. Yeah, we might see Stigma 4 or one of the other Stigmas, because presumably there are others. But yeah, I'm not. My assumption is that it's all Omega. That the boss is Omega, and anything else is just like, attacks or cameos and stuff. And that is the implication that I think was indicated.
If they include mechanics from the non-Omega fights, I do hope they include a part where you have to like surf on little sand tiles.
That would be so funny.
That's the best part of the
Omega
fight.
That'd make people so mad. That'd be very funny.
All right.
But yeah, no, I am basically expecting just some attacks. Like maybe there might be a phase where Neo X Death shows up off stage and does whatever I forget what his attacks are even called from Savage, but like just some of like what was it? I can't remember what his big like famous attack was that was causing everybody problems.
Which one?
Neo X Death.
Oh.
I forget what one of his attacks is like still used as a reference for later fights, and I forget what it's called.
Yeah, but I probably know it if I heard it, but not.
It's just I wouldn't be surprised if like he showed up off of the arena while Omega was untargetable and did that, and you had to resolve the mechanic, but you don't actually fight him. Things like that, or like Kefka's question mark AOE's where you have to where they're lying to you, that kind of thing. So, but like I said, I don't expect to fight either of them, because if they did, I think that would be a different Ultimate. In my opinion.
Was it Exaflare that came out in that one, or
this was XF Kefka Omega.
No, I said Exaflare, but
no, Exaflare. Well, Exaflare showed up first in.
Oh, Earth! Is it Earthshakers?
No, Earthshakers was all the way back in Bahamut.
Okay.
No, it was hold on. I was gonna bug me until I look it up. Hold on.
I'm looking through.
Neo X Death.
Oh, let's see. Grand Cross.
Yeah, it's Almagest. That's the one. Almagest.
Oh, okay.
Almagest, Grand Cross Alpha, Grand Cross Delta. Yeah, those are the ones. So yeah, those are the ones that people are talking about. The Grand Crosses and Almagest, which is a big, heavy tank buster. So anyway, we'll find out in less than a week. So
yeah,
talk about it next time.
Okay, yeah. So that has been the first episode in 2023 of Words of Azem. You can follow us all on Twitter. Clear Italian is at Clear Italian. Azari Limley is at Azari Limley. Midoritoka is at Satoshi Miwa. And I, Yosora Bolianes, is at Feo Ultima. We'll see when the next episode comes out. But until then, I forgot how I signed these things out. Our journey will never end.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, see you guys.